Hello, Namaskar, good evening. Welcome to NCERT's live interactive session. This is Simran Singh and you are all watching us on PM eVidya, channel number 6 to 12. Viewers, you can also connect with us through our YouTube channel that you all know, it's NCERT Official. So it's around 4 PM on your watch, and from 4 to 5 PM regularly we come up with our special sessions. And today is the third day of our online training on open educational resources and licenses, organized by CIET NCERT in collaboration with SEMCA Coal. And today, on the third day of our online training, we are going to discuss online training regarding the Creative Commons license for open educational resources. So here we are going to provide you all the information regarding licensing for the open educational resources. In the conversation, we are also joined by an expert, and it's an honor to inform all of you that we have with us Professor Mustafa Azad Kamal in this conversation. Namaskar, sir. Good evening.
Namaskar. Good evening.
A very warm welcome in the sir. A very warm welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm very glad to be here. Thank you.
Honor to have you here with us. Sir is Treasurer and Dean at School of Business. Bangladesh Open University has joined in from Bangladesh. Welcome on board. Welcome to all our viewers who have connected with us in the third day of our online training on Creative Commons licenses for open educational resources. Throughout our live interaction, if you have any of the queries, so write to us in the comment section of NCERT Official. Besides, here is our contact number that is flashing on your screens. So you may also give us a call at 8800-440-559. We'll try to answer all your queries in this session itself. But still, if any of your questions remain unanswered, you can also write to us at this mail ID that is flashing on your screens. It is training.helpdesk@ciet.nic.in. Once again, a very warm welcome in the session, Professor Mustafa. I request you to please comment the session and elaborate more about this third day of online training where we are going to discuss about Creative Commons licenses for the open educational resources. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It is my pleasure that I have been invited here by NCERT, the Ministry of Education India, and the Commonwealth Educational Media Center for Asia. So it is always a pleasure to be a part of this kind of initiative. So today I will focus on Creative Commons licenses for open educational resources. So if I understand that in last two sessions there were a very wide discussion on open educational resource policy perspectives and also the concepts relating to open educational resources. So today's session is very much important because when you talk about the open educational resources, then we have to understand how the resources can be open and how we can identify that a resource is open or not. So in that sense, actually Creative Commons licenses are very crucial. So if we can understand Creative Commons licenses, then it will be very easy for us to identify the open educational resources available online or in other forms. So this is Professor Mustafa Azad Kamal, as the presenter actually introduced me. I am from Bangladesh Open University, and you can see on my back our Father of Nation. So it is my pleasure that I am just talking to the colleagues from India and also from Bangladesh who are just listening to this program. And you know that so we just had the Independence Day last month. So and India was one of the biggest contributors to our independence in 1971. So when we fought for our independence, India was the help law. So greetings all the colleagues from India and also from Bangladesh. Let me start my session from this slide. So these are the focus of my presentation. So I will try to focus on openness. So why open matters, and the concept of openness already this concept have been discussed before, so I will not go deeper into that, but to relate with open licenses I will try to talk about the openness a little bit. Then we will try to see what are the licenses, Creative Commons licenses, what are the definitions and explanations of these licenses, how these can be used, and how these licenses can be created, and what sort of attribution is important here. And relating to this, I will try to take you to some web pages where you will see where the open education resources resides and how we can create an open license by using some tools. So I hope you will enjoy the session. So let's begin with some quotes. So you know Amartya Sen, you know him very well, and he said, if we continue to leave vast sections of people of the world outside the orbit of education, we make the world not only less just, but also less secure. Why I just use this quote here? Because you know that a large proportion of the population or citizens of the developing world, they cannot have access to education, and even they get access, they are being dropped out because of the expensive educational resources. They don't have sufficient and open access to the educational resources. And if we like to ensure educated society, knowledge-based society, so the people must have access to education, and to ensure that they must have open access to educational resources. And you know, the Lawrence Lessig, he was the founder of Creative Commons. He said monopoly controls have been the exception in free societies. They have been the rule in closed societies. So in a closed society, you'll see that everything is monopolized, and a lot of people are not having access to the resources. But in a free society, people got access. People at least can have freedom and access to the resources. So from that point of view, he tried to ensure that people are getting access to educational resources. And from that idea, he initiated the licenses, which are called Creative Commons licenses. So we'll talk about it today. And why Creative Commons licenses are important? You see, you can see this picture. Her name is Elbekian. She is from Kazakhstan. And you know that she created a platform which is called Sci-Hub. And she downloaded all the articles, which are very high impact articles, and these are highly protected. And she downloaded illegally and at Sci-Hub. So why it happened? Because in her postgraduate research, she wanted to have access to the educational resources, and she was facing trouble, a lot of trouble. And she was thinking that why these resources are protected for a longer time, because nowadays, you know, the resources can be produced in million copies digitally. So the cost becomes nearly zero. But these are paywall. You have to pay a lot. And that's why people cannot access properly. And that's why from that actually frustration, she created Sci-Hub and downloaded all these articles illegally and put them there. And a lot of people are still visiting the Sci-Hub platform to have access to the articles. So these are the limitations, because a big portion of the researchers and educators or students, they cannot have access to educational resources because the educational resources are copyrighted. Once it is copyrighted, you cannot download it without the permission of the author, and you cannot edit, you cannot revise without the permission. So these are the restrictions. So when we are just in post-COVID situation, we know that we are now offering the education through blended mode mostly. So we are using a portion of the delivery through our LMS or online media. So what happens if we go for online, then we need the resources in digital format mostly, and if we use these resources on a platform, it is not open, if these are copyrighted, then it becomes a challenge for the educators and also the students. So that's why it is very much important to have the open licenses, open educational resources. And what is open educational resource? You know that from our last sessions. So open educational resource, actually the resources which are freely available mostly, and these got the permission, built-in permission, so that anyone can use it, reuse it, edit it, or remix it with other resources. So these permissions are built in. And you know that if a resource is copyrighted, you cannot download without permission. But downloading means copy, you are violating copyright law, because downloading means copy. In digital format, it is copy. And you cannot reshape, you cannot edit it. We know that if we like to use an educational resource, maybe produced by an American author or a British author, if you like to use it in India or Bangladesh, it is not easy, because we have to customize. If you think of the quality of education, if you think of the quality of learning or engagement of the learners, or contextualize, we must customize these things. We must edit it. So if it is copyrighted, you cannot freely edit it because you need permission. So how long you will wait for permission? So these are the hindrances that actually slows our educational practices in this kind of developing societies mostly, and also in the developed countries. And you know that the educational resources are highly expensive, because these are mostly paywall. You see the publishers, they are paywall. So they are putting high prices on these resources. And at the same time, we know that since the blessing of digital technologies, we now can easily copy. Digitally, we can easily copy. So in that case, the marginal cost becomes very much low, nearly zero. So why they are asking for this high price? So this is the reality. So people cannot have good access to the educational resources. That hurts their educational practices. For the students, it hurts their grades also. So some research found, even I conducted one research with the support of Commonwealth of Learning, I found that the students feel that their grades are highly affected because of the lower access to educational resources. And another thing is the digital footprint. You know, if you download something illegally, it creates a bad spot on our digital footprint. So it actually is a threat for us in the future. So our students are downloading whatever they like for their assignments, etc. But if they don't know which resources they can download freely, openly, then they will not care. They will download because they need these things to develop their assignments or some other activities. So in that case, we are just pushing our learners and also educators that their digital footprint becomes little bit clumsy and little bit black spotted. So in that case, if you can identify the open educational resources, then it becomes very good for the students and also for the teachers. They can customize, they can download, they can use in their own way, and they can contextualize, so which is very, very important for the quality of education also. So in this context, if something is copyrighted, what we can do? It is a kind of closed system, so we cannot use the copyrighted resources without permission, so it restricts our educational practices, it restricts our use of the resources. So from that perspective, actually open license came. So what is open license? So a lot of open license are there. So today we will focus on Creative Commons open license, mostly. So when we talk about open license, we have to understand the copyright, because sometimes we think that, okay, so if it is OER, it is copyright free. It is not true. Copyright is there. In every copyright law, you will find that the author or the creator or copyright holder got the ability or authority to license their documents. That means they put the license, or they can declare that you or other people can use these resources openly. So that authority belongs to the copyright holder. So that's why when we talk about the open licenses, especially the Creative Commons licenses, these are copyright licenses, because these licenses are put on copyrighted things. If a resource or a textbook or a content doesn't have any copyright, it is not clearly identified, it is very difficult to put Creative Commons licenses. So for convenience, we will try to utter CC license from now. Okay. So these Creative Commons licenses are always copyright licenses, because these are put on the copyrighted documents, because the author or creator or copyright holder got the authority to declare the resources as open resource. So that's why first, to put the license, first I must have the copyright on the resource. Then I can add the license on my resource. That means I can tell you that you can share, or you can download this, or you can use it in these conditions. So some conditions are there. So based on the conditions, the licenses actually vary. So we'll see how many licenses are there. So when we talk about open or openness, we have to have these 5 R criteria actually fulfilled. So you must have the ability to reuse the resource, and you have the ability to revise, that means edit or adapt, and you can remix, you can put 2 or 3 resources together, or you can put your resources with other one's resources. So it is possible, and redistribute, you can redistribute, and also you can retain. The 5th condition is a little bit tricky, but these first 4 conditions, 4 R's, are very, very important. So otherwise we cannot call it fully open. So to be fully open, you need to have at least these 4 R's: reuse, revise, remix, and redistribute. If a resource got all these permissions, then we can clearly tell it is an open resource. So, okay, so openness can be of 2 types. So you know the open access. So open access sites are there. So in open access sites, and always not necessary that you have to put open licenses. So these are kind of weak open. So strong open is if you put open license. So in open access site, even in open access site, if you have open license, then these are strong open, because open licenses, you will see that these are very much legally protected. So that's why these are, if the open licenses are there, you are safe to use anything. And we already covered this. So when we talk about open educational resources, you see, you must have, we are expecting that you have free access, and you have the 5 R's fulfilled, so at least 4 R's, and it must be downloadable, editable, and the format should be open file formats. Because if you, for example, you share something, I mean, it declares an open resource, but it is a PDF. So if I need to buy a PDF software to edit it or download it. So it is a little bit tricky, and it is not fully complying with openness. So open, when we talk about open, the format should be open, it must be editable, the permission should be there, it must be easily downloadable. So all these things should be there, and it should be freely accessible. And what is Creative Commons license? So you know, Creative Commons is a non-profit organization, you know that, and these licenses have been designed by Creative Commons, and these are here. So you see the first license. So what I told before, that if you like to put this license on a resource or on a educational resource, or a video, can be audio, can be a text, you must own the copyright. That is the first condition, because all these licenses are copyright licenses. You must own the copyright. Okay. So now say on one document it is written that CC BY. It is a CC BY. So if it is CC BY, that means CC means for Creative Commons, and BY means attribution. Attribution. So attribution means what? So someone created this resource, and for example, you are using a textbook which have been written by me. So when you will use it, even if it is open license, so if you find this license on this, so you will understand that this is this can be used openly. So nobody will claim any thing from you, but you must attribute me properly. So since I am the writer, I am the copyright holder, you have to attribute me properly. So that is very important. So we will see quickly how the attribution can be proper. And this is very simple. So if you have this license, you will understand that this resource you can download, you can edit, you can remix, you can do anything. You don't have any restriction there, but only one thing, you have to attribute properly the author. That is very, very important. So you cannot ignore it. So for any license, if you use it, you can, you have the permission, built-in permission, you can download it. You don't need to ask the author, but you must have to attribute properly. And second thing is, if you see this license, you can see the attribution is must, but this license share alike. You see share alike. What does it mean? Share alike. Share alike means whatever resource you are taking from me, if you can change it, you can remix it, you can do everything, but you have to attribute, and you have to put the same license on the newly created resource by you, by using my resource. So if you use my resource and my resource got CC BY as a license, so when you will create the new resource, that resource must have this license. So this is another restriction. So you must attribute, but also you have to put the same license on this. And you see CC BY NC. So when you will use a resource where this license is visible, so what you will do? You cannot use it for commercial purpose. For example, a textbook. I have a textbook and I put this license on this. So what you will do? You can download it, you can edit, you can do everything. But what thing we cannot do? You cannot share it with your students if you take money from your students for the textbook, for the educational resource. You cannot use this, because I told you, you cannot, this is non-commercial, that means you cannot use it for commercial purpose. So when you see NC on the license, you will understand that it cannot be used for commercial purpose. And if you have this license, you see we have here 6 licenses, 6. This is not a license, we will see later. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 licenses. And what about the fourth license? We talk about third license, CC by NC. And CC by NCS, that means you have two other restrictions. One is by, you have to attribute properly. Of course, if my resource got this license, fourth license, what I saw, what you can see now. So you must attribute properly me if I am the author. And second, you cannot use it for commercial purpose. Third, when you create another resource by using this, you must put the same whole license on it. Same license you have to put. And fifth one is CC by ND. ND means, you see ND, you see the equal sign. That means you can use it. You can download and you can use it. You can copy, doesn't matter. You cannot change anything. Even the cover, inside, nothing can be changed. So I have a book, it is open education resources and open textbook say, and I am putting CC by ND on my textbook. So if you like to use it, and if you like to change it, you cannot change. You just use it. You can copy it. You can distribute it. Even you can sell it. Doesn't matter. But you cannot change anything. Cover, inside, any image, text, nothing can be changed. So it should be as it is. So if it is like that, it cannot be considered as true OER, because OER got the flexibility. We saw that it got sufficient flexibility. These are actually can consider as OER, but it is not strictly OER, because yes, it's good that I can download, I can use it with the student, but if I like to change anything, if I like to edit in anything, or if I like to customize or remix, I cannot do it. Only I can distribute it as it is. And the sixth one you can see CC by. We know that by means attribution. I have to attribute properly. NC, that means I cannot use this document. If you find this license on a document, you cannot use this document for commercial purpose. And the third is ND, you cannot change anything. So the fifth one, you have the chance, or you have the permission to sell it. It doesn't matter. You can change, but you can sell, you can copy, distribute, doesn't matter. You can download. But the sixth one, even you cannot sell it. You cannot change, you cannot sell it. But you can download, you can distribute freely, not with money. These are the 6 licenses. These are Creative Commons licenses. You can see one at the top. This is called public domain. Public domain is, you will find this symbol on some resources that indicates that this resource doesn't have any copyright. So you know that in different countries the copyright law actually varies from one country to another country. So I don't know what about India, maybe 60 years after the death of the author, the copyright belongs to that family, or if author authorized someone 60 years after the death. But after that 60 years, this resource becomes public domain. It goes to public domain. Automatically it goes to public domain because it becomes copyright free. So you can change, you can do everything with that. But one thing you must remember, that when you will use my book, so maybe if it is in public domain, it is not mandatory that you will attribute me, because it is now copyright free. But the norm is you will attribute me, because this document I have been created. Maybe I will not be on this art that time. For example, Rabindranath's poem is not here. These are now mostly in public domain, but you cannot change anything, because the poem got some essence which actually have been created by Tagore, Rabindranath Tagore. So what happened, even if it is in public domain, you don't need to attribute officially. But in copyright, you have two parts. One is utilitarian or economic right, another is moral right. So maybe now it is free, it is on public domain, you can do anything with it. But one thing you have to recall or remind or keep into mind that you will not forget the moral right of the author. So author is no more on this art, but you should attribute one thing. Another thing, you cannot change the meaning or essence of the document. So you cannot change in a way so that the essence of the document is changed, because the writer got one mindset, one actually philosophy, one kind of focus, and something he wanted or she wanted to share with the people or with the generation. So now you cannot change the essence. So that is the violation of moral rights. So in copyright, even if it is in public domain, it is copyright free, but you have to consider the moral right. So that's why if I use the public domain, I must attribute properly, because this actually falls into the moral right of the author. So these are the licenses. So you see the least open. So this ND licenses. ND means no non-derivative or no derivative, non-derivative. Non-derivative. This is non-derivative. Non-derivative means you cannot change anything. You cannot derive anything upon it. So you cannot derive anything upon it. So this non-derivative license or no derivative, sometimes people say no derivatives. So non-derivative licenses are not that much open. Other licenses are more or less very open. The most open is public domain. This is not the license, but this document is most open. Then if you find CC BY, these are the second most open, and third most open is this one, fourth most open is this one. So now you can choose what license you will use, but that means you are giving permission. You are the copyright holder. You are giving the permission.
Yeah, sir.
Now,
so we also have a small question over here. Should I ask regarding these licenses?
Sure. Please proceed.
So one of our viewers have asked us, which is the least restrictive licenses out of the 6 main that you have mentioned? The least restrictive one.
CC BY is the most open. That means least restricted license is CC BY, because this license, even after attribution, you can use the resource in your own way. There is no other restriction. But if you go to CC BY essay, you have essay restriction. That means you must put this license on that. That means you have to share this new document what you created by using my document or others document. You have to put the same license. You have to share it in a similar way. So you got an additional restriction, and here you have got another restriction. So the least restricted license is this one. And this public domain, it is not a license. If it is in public domain, even if you don't like to attribute, you can do that. But what we say, if something is copyrighted, once it was copyrighted, so the copyright holder got 2 rights. One is economic right, another is moral right. So you have to consider the moral right. Even the person is no longer on this art. After the death is 60 years after the death of the creator, you are using it. It is not now copyright protected, but you have to give the proper attribution, as the moral right still belongs to that author. So we will follow that.
Thank you so much for answering that. And with regard to this, we have another question. Why is it so important to take care of Creative Commons while using OERs?
Okay, so why it is important? OER means open educational resource. So it should be open. So for example, you are a teacher or you are a student. So say teacher. So you will download from internet. We are downloading a lot of slides, books sometimes. So what is this? This is the copyright violation. So we are just infringing the copyright law. So anyone can sue against you. This is one thing. And second thing is, if you download, even if you get the permission to download, maybe you will not get the permission to edit it. So you see, you are getting one document, one case from US university, maybe you are permitted to download it. But if you like to customize this resource for your context, you will not be able to do it because that permission is not given. So when the licenses are there, you can download freely, you can edit it, you can customize it and in your own way. And also, you don't need to worry about the violation of copyright because these are protected by copyright and the license is put on the copyright law, on the copyrighted things. So since these are copyright licenses, you don't need to think of the copyright because within the copyright there is an option that you can put the license. License means giving permission. So if I put this license on my document, you can freely use it. This is one thing. Another thing is, for example, I created one document. If it is copyrighted, so you need permission and you need to have permission to edit it, etc. But if I make it open, you don't need to create the same thing again and again. So you will find every university is created their own resources and these are copyrighted. So in India, Bangladesh, so the public money is used again and again. So we can save this money and we can instantly download and customize and we can offer it to the students instantly because I don't need to ask anybody. If the license is there, I don't need to ask anybody. The license is the resource belong, resource contains this license, that means it is OER, Open Educational Resource. So for being an Open Educational Resource, it must be either on public domain or the license should be on the document. So if it is released under this license, it becomes OER. So
thank you so much for answering that. Thank you so much for answering the questions, queries of our viewers. I would like to inform all our viewers that in the conversation we still have around 15 to 17 minutes left. So if you have any of the queries, sir would be more than happy to take all your questions. So write to us in the comment section of NCERT Official. Sir, you may proceed.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, time is short, so I will skip some slides. So you see that why Creative Commons licenses are very much important and very much legally protected because it got three layers. One is legal code. Every license got a legal code. Every license got the machine readable code, human code. So what we saw, these are the human readable code. So if you see CC by, that is human readable. But against every license, we have the legal code. So if someone sue against you for downloading a CC license to work, you can easily fight it because this is legally protected. So this permission is legally protected. And we already discussed this thing. So we saw that the three concepts are there. One is attribution, share alike, non-commercial and non-derivative. So these four things are very much important. These are the combination. Licenses are actually combined these four concepts. So we already talked about CC BY SA and C. So we will see some websites where these licenses are out. We will see. So let us go quickly. So we don't need to discuss this, but already I discussed it. So the CC BY means that you can do everything. Change, you can distribute everything. You can print, you can sell it. But you must attribute. That's the only thing. Even if you don't put this license, it doesn't matter because it is not restricted. It is not telling that you have to put the same license. But here, you have to put the same license on the newly created resource. Or if you share the license, you must use this license on the document you are going to share. So this license actually tell you cannot use this document for commercial purpose. So these are the licenses already discussed. So let us go to, so you see the public domain. So you can see this is a public domain. I talked about this. This is called a public domain mark. Actually, this is public domain mark. You see the cross over the C. That means C means copyright. So see, that means there is no copyright. Copyright is expired. Copyright is expired. No copyright is there. And this is after the death of the author or creator, 60 years. It depends on the copyright law of the country. And if I or my slide or video on has been created by Creative Commons. If I put CC 0, people will understand that this is on public domain. So even if I like to sacrifice something, on public domain, I will put CC0 on my document, so people will understand that this is in public domain. So people don't need to wait 60 years after my expiry. No, I can tell you that you can do anything. I don't have any problem. Even if you don't attribute, doesn't matter. That means in that case I will put. So looking at that, you will understand that this document is free to use in way by you. So this is very, very important. It's a public domain, and CC0 also indicates the public domain. So the second one, the last one, is actually called public domain mark. Public domain mark. So you see when you will, this is a compatible chart. So when you will use, I think you have another session, 5th session, this will cover this. But I am telling you, just giving some hints. For example, if you take something from public domain, so from either CC0 or public domain mark, whatever it is. If you take one textbook, a portion of the textbook from which is released under public domain, and another document, another part or another chapter you took from another book which is released under CC BY. So you can mix these two. Very easy. Even if you don't put any other license, doesn't matter. You can put your name with attribution, you can sell it, you can distribute, no problem. But if it is CC by SA, you see CC by SA. So see CC by SA. So you are taking something from CC by SA and you are mixing it with something which has been released by CC by. In this case, you got the restriction CC by SA. That means since CC by SA is there, so some portion you took from CC by SA, what you can do, you can just put, for that portion you can put CC by SA under that portion. But the meaningful use or proper use will be, you will put the CC by SA on the whole document, because you have mixed, especially in case of video or audio, how you separate. So what portion you took from there. So for textbook it's okay, you can put CC by SA on the under that part of the document. So in that case, if you have CC by SA or CC by NC, these are, you have to put these licenses. So CC by ND you cannot change, you cannot mix it with anything, but you can change it. So you have this zone. So this zone, you see, clearly you can mix. So when you will use the OER, 3 or 4 types OER, you first check it. So when you will download the OER, so you will see, for example, if public domain or CC BY. So if it's CC BY, you can mix it with anything. So if you take something from here, it's okay. From here, it's okay. You can mix. From here, it is a problem. But if up to here, you can download. So then, so when you download, you will just have an exercise that what licensed works I will download. I will mix up. So this is very, very important, because if you download something from here, ND license, you cannot mix another from here. So how will you mix? It is not permitted. So that's why when you download, you will do this exercise on a sheet, that what kind of resources you will download and what license actually you will use on the new lessons, new resource or document. So how you will find these licenses? So you see Creative Commons chooser, they have the link. So you can go there and you can say, I can just take you on this website. So you see this is Creative Commons. So this is Creative Commons chooser. So if you like to, okay, so if, for example, if you like to have a license which will tell the others or users that he or she can change it, adapt it, and also he can or she can use commercial. So if I like to allow others to share it and to edit it or revise it, remix it, and also I allow you to share it commercially or take money out of it. So what can be the license? CC, they said CC BY license. You can put CC BY license. And now I don't allow you for any adoption, and I allow you to use commercial purpose. Then you see license is this CC BY ND. Equal means ND license, no derivative. If you like to, yes, as long as other share. So I'm giving you permission that you can use it, download it, and you have to share it on the same license what I put on my license. And also you can use commercial, or you cannot use commercial. See, this license is here. So this is non-commercial and this is share alike. So this is are the ways you can get the license. So you can click right button and copy the image and you can put there. Or you can copy this. You see, copy this link. So if anyone just wants to know better about the license you used on your document, they can click there. So you can take the whole thing and copy and paste on your document. So you can create the licenses in this way. And another way is open Washington. You can put the title here. For example, you can put the title here, and one URL. For example, we can put this URL for our So you can put the URL here, say, an author name, for example, Mustafa, my name, and my URL, for example, the same URL I am putting, and I want to put it in the public domain now, or I want to share it CC BY. And what version? They said 4.0. Okay, so there are a lot of versions, so I will share it on 4.0. And now, you see, your license has been created. So you can copy it from here, you can put it into your document. So this is Open Washington. So they have attribution builder. So you can see that. And now let us go to the slide again. This is Open Washington, and here how you will attribute properly. This is very much important. So when you want to attribute someone, so what are the things should be in attribution? So you see the title. You must, when you attribute, the title must be clear, title of the work. Author's name, etc. must be clear, and where this resource actually resides, from where you download it, and the license, and also with link. These are the proper attribution. If something, so you can see some examples. For example, you see this one, someone created this, and the attribution is ideal. So this has been the title, and this is the author's name and his web link, and this is the license and license link. And also this, you see, it is a hyperlink. Hyperlinks means the work's source is there also. So this is a very ideal attribution. So when we attribute, just keep it into your mind that that the people must know the title clearly, author clearly, and source clearly, and license clearly. This should be there. So if it is not like this, say this one, pretty good, but this is not proper. You see the photo. Yeah, you are giving the link of the photo, but the title is missing. This is not a proper attribution, but it is okay. If you click on the photo, you will get the title. That's okay, but it is not clear enough. License is okay, and name is okay, but name doesn't have any web link. Yeah, it's fine, it's okay, but you see the title is missing, and also the source is missing. It's not visible. We have to keep it in mind. And then sometimes when we attribute, we write that okay, you used it in your resource or document, and then under this you wrote photo Creative Commons. It's totally incorrect attribution. You see, nothing is there. What is the title? What is the source? What is the license? Who is the author? Nothing is there. So this attribution is not permitted. So when we will attribute, sorry, KT Commons tells you attribute in this way, TASL, TASL. TASL. Okay. TASL.
Yes, sir. I'll have to inform you that here in the conversation we are left by the last 3 to 4 minutes.
Okay. Okay. I am continuing. So I'll.
I request you to please be brief.
Okay. Thank you. So you see this one. This is very good. So you have title, name of the author, and license. Fine. So in this way you can attribute. So these are the attribution styles. And where you will get the resources, you will get it. So another day you will know the resources, where the resources are. I listed some. So maybe I will share these links with the organizers. So Simran, I will share the link, these pages with you, so that you can put into the
Sure, sir.
part of the YouTube video. So that will be good. So you can, everybody will know all these things from there. And so since the time is short, so I will not go beyond that. So I will try to remain on time. So if any question, I can respond. And
Yeah, so very quickly we'll take this one question that we used to get frequently from our viewers. So most of our viewers, they ask us how to find the quality open educational resources. Like we have a lot of them, it's open to everyone. So they are asking how to find the one that is authentic and quality based.
Okay, so this is how it is very tricky question, because quality is, you know, it is a very relative term. So what you have to do, you will see the repositories. For example, I will share this link also. I put a lot of, say, OER repositories are here. So a number of repositories links are here. So it's taking time to come. So number of repositories are here. So you see number of repositories. I will share this link. So,
Sure, sir.
So you will enter into these repositories and you will find your resource and you will check, because I am the teacher, I will know which actually serves my purpose. So quality is not a general term. So I cannot generalize it, standardize it. So what I will do, I will see whether this resource serves my purpose. So why I will have to use the whole resource? I will download and I will edit and I will customize. So what resource used in India, so maybe it is not applicable for a particular context in Bangladesh. So I have to customize it. So I can take the resource and then I can customize, I can ensure the quality. So this is totally on me.
Sure,
So
sir.
I have to smell whether when I see the resource, when I see a fruit, I can smell it and I can identify whether the fruit is actually good or not.
Yeah.
As a teacher, as a educator or as a researcher, we understand which resource is good for my students, for my context on. Thank you very much.
Sure, sir. And I think that would be very helpful for all our viewers, as you can witness the beautiful comments that are pouring in the comment section of NCRT Official. Thanks a lot, sir, for being a part of this conversation and informing our viewers the precious information regarding the Creative Commons licenses for open educational resources. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Namaste to everybody. And I think we will be in touch. And
Sure,
my will be given under the video on YouTube video, the description part. So if anyone wants to communicate with me, you can write. I will feel
Sure,
free
sir.
to-
We will take a note of that. We would have loved to continue the session, but we had certain time constraints. That's why we have to wrap up this particular session. But viewers, stay connected with us. Our upcoming session is Sahyog, so you don't have to go anywhere. We'll be discussing about a very important topic in our next session. Stay connected. Namaskar.